Hello there, running it's Manny again, and I wanted to make this video tomorrow, which is Monday. Instead, it's going to be dropping on Sunday, and you'll understand when I get to the tips and the tricks or whatever for Princess. And the first one is the reason why it's dropping today, so that way you guys can actually look at certain things and maybe make adjustments if needed. But before we get into anything, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're over 1,500. We're going to get to 2,000. I don't have any doubts about that. Thank you guys. This is your channel and continues to grow because of you. You guys share the information. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And we're going to continue to grow over the years. This is going to be amazing. And I love this journey that I'm taking with you guys. And I know it's going to continue on for a while. But let's get to some potential news that's coming up. Let's go over what happened at registration, and then we're going to talk about Princess. So first off, I think a couple of things are going to come out this week. One for sure, and that is going to be the Princess shirts, okay? So those shirts that are going to be coming out for Princess, the ones that we get at the Expo, the ones that we paid for when we registered, the ones where we get our bib and then we have to go and pick up, those are going to be coming out this week. I'm guessing Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. Maybe even Monday, but for sure we're gonna get the Expo pass tomorrow, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But that's something that's gonna drop this week. Another thing that I think may drop this week, and it just makes perfect sense, is the theming for the Disney World Marathon for 2026. The theming and the pricing. A couple of people have reached out to me saying, when do you think we're gonna get it? I think it's going to come this week. The following week is going to be a week before the people from Club Run Disney can register. So, you know, what you want to do is give people, number one is the themes. So that way they can start saying, yeah, I'm going to, the people who actually pick races, you know, and say, well, am I going to do Wine and Dine? Am I going to do Princess? Am I going to do Walt Disney World Marathon weekend? So it's going to be the theming. And I have no idea what the theming is going to be. There are so many ideas out there. Make yourself at home to guess what it's going to be. But because it is the same basically every year, the same characters, the theming can be a little bit different. So I'm not sure what it's going to be. But the other reason is the pricing. The pricing is going to come out, and that way people can budget for the runs. Because let's face it, Dopey is not getting any less expensive. Whatever it was last year, at about 5%, maybe even more, give or take. But that's what it's going to be. So that way, again, us mere mortals can actually sit here and say, hey, it's in the budget to do it or not. And that way we have a few weeks, 2 weeks for Club Run Disney, and then 3 weeks for the rest of the mere mortals to be able to register. But I think those are coming up. So the next topic is going to be registration for Wine and Dine that just happened. And I wanted to make a video, but things started happening because, again, I only get my perspective, and I'll go over my perspective shortly. And then things started coming out afterward, and I said, okay, let me wait a little bit just to see what the different perspectives are. Because remember, if you get in, and you're one of the first to get in, great perspective. If you're one of the last ones to get in, whew, but great perspective. But if you didn't get in, that's a different perspective. So my perspective is this, and I'm just going to give you what I saw. Number one is I got in ahead of time because I'm perfect for the challenge, so I was able to register for that. Then I also have my Club Run Disney, so I was able to register for the 5K ahead of time. So I learned something. So you guys who have perfect status and have Club Run Disney, make sure you do this. Wait until you get your perfect status registration first. Register for that. And if you're gonna move over to your Club Run Disney, for example, for this example, the 5K, then go ahead and do that, because for the simple reason that if you use that, because they sent it to me earlier, the registration for Club Run Disney, whichever one I wanted to. If I would have registered for the challenge there, number one, I would have lost, there's a potential that I would have lost my perfect status. I would have had to go and you know, because again, the registration is a different link. And then second of all, I would have had to go into the mere mortal registration for the 5K, which I wasn't able to do. I didn't have to do that, I should say. But so that was my perspective when it came to me registering. Now, I actually was up early, and I was following people, and I had some friends, some Run Disney friends who I was helping out, and I was going through everything. And again, my perspective is it looked like every single person got in. Some got in earlier than others. Some took a while. Some messaged me later saying, hey, I was able to get in. And so I got the perspective. Nobody sent me any message saying I didn't get in. So that perspective was not thrown at me. And I started thinking to myself, man, I didn't see many people complain. And so I thought, okay, I'll make a video and just talk about it a little bit. But then all of a sudden, a couple of days later, when I was going to make the video, I started seeing people saying, and I got to payment, and then all of a sudden I clicked and it was sold out. By the time I got to something else, it was sold out, and then everything was sold out. So let's just go over what happened. So the first one to sell out was was a 10K, and it was about 1 hour into it. Now everything sold out by an hour and a half into registration, with the exception of the after party, which is going to stay open for a while. But all the runs they sold out. Now, if you guys want to keep count and say which one sold out first, the 10K sold out first. I believe the 5K was next. Then it was a challenge and the half, or right around that area. Okay, but every year it changes, and you got to remember they have bibs that they put together for the half. And so just a point of reference, when I was at Disneyland, the challenge, there was a bunch of terminals to get in there, a bunch of numbers and so forth. You went over to the half and there was only 2. And so everything changes from year to year. So that's why I always say perspective is something that you got to look at. So if you sit there and saying, oh, well, it sold out because of this, we don't know. We don't know how many bibs are going to be. If they have, there is a good idea. Like if you see it and it's year after year after year, it's not going to change a lot. It can change a lot, but usually it doesn't change a lot. So you can get that perspective. But you also, a lot of people will go crazy thinking about, hey, I should do this, I shouldn't do this, I should do this and stuff. And they forget one thing: just register and get into the race, or find a way to get into the race. So again, my perspective was good, especially the people that I knew that were trying to register got in. Again, I'm sorry if you didn't get in. If you didn't get in, please comment down below. And if you want to share your experience, please do so. Let me know what happened. Maybe I can help a little bit more. I always think to myself, there is more I can do in the videos when it comes to registration. So if you guys let me know what you need help with, maybe I can do more, expand on that area. And so that way you can see if we can get you in. It's no guarantee. Even my videos, I always say there's no guarantee that you're going to get in, but you give yourself a pretty good chance of getting in. So again, that was my perspective. Again, I hope to God everybody who's watching got in. If you didn't, there's still charities available. Please reach out to me. I know a few of them that are great charities. They do great work, and they would love to have you. So just reach out either on here or on social media, and I will give you the link. So now we're going to go over some tips and what to expect at Princess. And we're going to kind of go in order because we can actually start today. Number one, really before even packing, I'm going to go over the weather. And it's not the weather at the run, because that's going to determine what we're going to pack or not pack and so forth and so on. But the weather going on right now, because it's a little bit crazy, and getting about midweek going into later this week. I know that in Texas, or this area, the Midwest, the Mid-South, I should say, we're going to have extreme cold weather, possibly freezes. So if you have a flight, you might be delayed, you might be canceled. So what I would start doing right now, and this is the reason I want to do this video tonight instead of tomorrow, is you guys can start looking at alternatives. If you guys are traveling in any of these areas that are going to be affected by the cold weather. The cold weather really doesn't affect the planes a lot. It is the freezing, the icing, that kind of stuff. And remember, connecting flights. If you have a flight later in the day, they may be coming from a place that has icing, and so they're delayed, so that means you're going to be delayed, and so forth and so on. So just make sure that you start looking now at your flights. I have already looked, and I've made alternate plans just in case something happens, that I could leave a little bit earlier. But again, I still plan on leaving on Wednesday, so I'll be there Wednesday afternoon, and I should be able to. I don't think there's going to be a problem with that, but I'm still looking, and I still look at the weather on a regular basis just to make sure. And I already have my alternative plans made just in case something happens. If Southwest reaches out to me and says, hey, guess what? There's a chance you're going to be delayed or canceled on Wednesday, I already have a couple of plans in place. So, and I would urge you guys to do the same exact thing. So now let's get to the weather for the run. And right now it's kind of been a little bit different at times. And I've seen anywhere between 39 and 50, but it seems to have been settling in the mid 40s, and it's basically for the runs. And then once we start running, it's 60s, maybe 70s. So it should be fine. I've seen rain, I've seen not rain, and so lately it's been not going to happen any rain. It looks like the rain is going to happen earlier, so like Wednesday, Thursday. But by the time we start running, we should be okay. But with that said, you're going to be packing, so pack for every kind of weather. We don't know what's going to happen. Rain ponchos are going to be your friends. You can go to Walmart. I just went and got a bunch of them for $2 each. You can go get a blanket, any one of those blankets that you can throw away, or you can have a Mylar blanket. I have a whole bunch from my old runDisney runs that I've collected, so I have those. I'm going to take some with me. I'm probably going to take up another blanket that's going to be a little bit warmer, but that's I can get them at Walmart for $2, $3, $5, and you can and again, people will donate them. So if you drop them off during the run, I should say, that Disney will pick them up and donate them. Now it is they call it now corral shopping, because people will actually need some. So they'll go in through the corrals and you'll see people grab stuff and put it on. And some people get upset, but I know a lot of the people who do that, they still donate it at the very end. They just kind of grabbed it to use it because they are a little bit colder or something like that. And that's something that you guys can do too. I don't discourage that. What I do discourage is trying to keep it at the end, especially at the end of the races. If you're going to use it, then you're going to donate it so that way they can donate it. Then go ahead and do that. But yeah, plan on taking all kinds of weather clothes. I'm going to pack all my cold weather clothes, and I'm going to pack my regular running clothes. So just in case, but I think we're going to be using the cold weather clothes. That's the way it's going to be throughout the 5K, the 10K possibly, and at least half of the half marathon. So now let's get to Monday. So that's tomorrow. So tomorrow the check-in pass is going to arrive. Last time I was doing the video, when I finished, it came out. So I was able to show it. But you know what? I'm going to show you, this is the one for Disneyland. So it's not the one that's going to be for Princess, but it's going to look like this. So you'll either get an email or you can log into your account and you're going to see this blue check-in pass, and just click on it to get it. So a couple of things to remember about the Expo Pass. So remember this, because you may have multiple Expo Passes. So let's say you signed up for just one race, and that includes the challenge. So if you signed up for the 5K, the 10K, the half, or the challenge, and you only signed up one, that means you're going to get one Expo Pass. If you signed up for two races, so you signed up for the challenge and the 5K, that means you're going to have two Expo Passes, because you're going to have to get two bibs. For the challenge, you're going to have one bib. For the 5K, you're going to have another bib, so that's two bibs, okay? And so you're going to have two check-in passes. Now, let's say you signed up for each race individually. Let's say you signed up for the first, the 5K and the 10K regular, and then you decided through the charity to do a half marathon. You're going to have three check-in passes. You're going to pick up three different bibs, and you're going to use three different bibs. So just remember that, so that way when you get to the expo, you understand that you're going to have to pick up. I have seen it before where people will just get one because they only see one, even though they can click and get the second one. They'll go and just pick up that one bib, and then they'll go, what happened? And they forget. And I've even had people tell me, man, I forgot that I signed up for the 5K. I didn't check, I didn't get the check, or I didn't look for the check-in pass. And so that's that. So remember to look for all your runs. Now also remember that you're going to need an ID. This is a government issued ID. You cannot just make up your own. And anybody who's 18 or older will have to pick up their own bib. Anybody who's less than 18, 17 and younger, yeah, a parent or a guardian can go pick up their bib. I've done that before. So it's very, very easy. But if you are an adult, you got to pick up your own bib. They may have emergency pickup. They usually do. But this is what I always tell people. Emergency pickup is that if you are going to not go there because you don't want to and you just want to pick it up in the morning, you're abusing the system. So what ends up happening if you abuse the system, guess what? The people that are going to get punished are the people that actually have a need. So let's go back to the weather that I'm describing. And let's say that a lot of people, because of the weather just got so extreme, and Thursday they were supposed to leave early. They didn't get to leave till later, so they missed the expo. and so they're going to have to pick it up. Emergency pickup is going to be Friday morning. So don't ruin it for them, because there might be some people that, and this has happened in the past. I've seen this long line at information, the information tent, because they had to have emergency pickup. Disney is prepared for this, but again, don't abuse it, because then later on they can easily say, we're taking that away. So don't do that. Make sure that if you get there on time, go to the expo, pick up your bib, go and enjoy what's going on, visit Jeff Galloway, and again, have a good time, so that way everybody else can have a good time in case there's an emergency. So now we're going to go to the expo. So the expo is Thursday. It opens up at 10, I believe, till 8 p.m. Remember to look at your digital event guide. It's going to have it there on the runDisney.com page. As long as you go to Princess, it's going to have all the information. So just make sure you look at that before you go. Now, real quickly, going back to the check-in pass, that is to pick up your bibs. I talked about bibs. Now we're going to go into the merchandise part. So if you go to the expo and you just want to pick up your bibs, you're going to need your check-in passes. And you can print them out. You can have them digital. Remember to have your ID. And you're going to go to one location where you're going to be able to pick up all the bibs. Go to a second location where you're going to pick up your shirts. And then remember, that's where the expo itself is. If you forgot running shoes, running socks, that happened to me one time, so I had to go buy some. You can go into the expo and buy that stuff. They have a lot of free stuff, a lot of cool stuff. They usually do something there where you can try product samples of products, and they will send you, or they will give you a $10 Amazon gift card, which is really, really cool. So if you go there for all 4 runs, you can get 4 Amazon gift cards, $40. That's not bad of Amazon gift cards that you get. But just remember that. Now, you are going to have a virtual queue. So this is a virtual queue. Let's show you how you get it. So this is all going to be in My Disney Experience. You hit the 3 bars on the bottom right, go all the way to virtual queue. It's going to take you to this page where it's going to say join virtual queue. And you're going to see at the top, you're going to have, for now, it's going to be Magic Kingdom and Epcot. But there should be one by Thursday morning that says ESPN Wild World of Sports. Now remember, yours is going to say ESPN Wild World of Sports, and it will probably might come out tomorrow, Tuesday. By Thursday morning, it will be there. So if you are going to go to the expo and you want to buy merchandise, you are going to, for the first day, usually it's for the first day only, and sometimes it's not the entire first day, but you are going to have to get a virtual queue. You're going to have to get, they're going to send you a QR code for everybody in your party. So everybody in your party has to be registered. It starts at 8:30 a.m. and it works just like any of the other virtual queues. So you're going to have to click on it. You're going to have to refresh. Make sure that you pick your party before you do the refresh. Then you refresh, then join the queue. It's going to give you a callback number. Let's say it's number 50. It's going to give you an estimated time that you're going to come back. So you can go enjoy the expo. You might even, if you have enough time, go get something to eat, then come back. Depends on what you want to do. Once you come back, you're going to go into an area, holding area, and then they're going to let you in from there. Okay, so little by little, they're going to let people in there. They try to control the traffic, and so when there's a lot of people in there, they're probably going to slow it down. When there's a little bit of people in there, they're going to probably speed it up. But the last couple of times, it's gone a little bit faster. So my perspective is, I'm Club Run Disney, so I'm going to get there earlier. By the time you guys are trying to get it, I'm going to be going in. But again, that's when I get to record everything. So if you want to, while you're waiting, you can also, I'm going to try to upload it as quickly as I can so you can see some of the merchandise to see if there's anything that you want. Go get it as quickly as you can, especially if there's something that it's in your size, which is a popular size, or something that's just popular. But make sure that, again, you get the virtual queue if you're going to buy merchandise the first day. Make it very clear. And by the second day, they usually do not need that. So they may, but they usually, I've never seen it happen. But the way it's worded, they could do it. I don't think it's going to happen. You don't need a virtual queue. You might just be able to walk right in. You might be able to walk in and they might make you wait a little bit, but you're going to be able to get the second and the third day, you're going to be able to get in there. But remember, virtual queue for merchandise, check-in pass for bibs. So that's a totally different thing. So now let's move on to the runs. So the runs are going to be easy. I'm just going to kind of group them together. The 5K, the 10K, and the half. If you're at your hotel, go to the runDisney, go to the Run in Ears page on Facebook, because I usually post a picture of what the frames, the A-frames or the standing frames look like, and it's going to give you a schedule, where to pick it up. I usually actually in my video also put on there where to go. You're going to be able to see it, but every hotel that is on property, including shades of green, and any of the Swan and Dolphin, and the other Swan and Dolphin, the Reserve, I think it's called. All of those will have buses going to and from the Expo, to and from the runs. So just remember to do that. Look at the times when they start running. Remember, if you want to get there early because you want to get some character pictures, you can. If you want to get there a little bit later, just remember this. Do not play with their cutoff time. If their cutoff time is 4 and you get there at 4:05, they have the right to say, that's it, too bad, so sad. You might call a lift, you might be able to get in, but remember they start closing stuff, so you might not be able to get in. So do not play with that. Sometimes they let you in, but do not play with that because you just don't know what's going to happen. But again, like me, especially the 10K and the half, I think it looks like I'm going to be starting with the balloon ladies again. So I usually take one of the last buses. I get up a little bit later, kind of relax, and then I get there a little bit later. So if you're staying off property, remember to go to the digital event guide and then start looking at the closing times for parking. Parking is free, unlike at Disneyland. So just make sure that you understand the road closures and what time that they close the parking. That way you can get there in time. Make sure that you get there. And if you have spectators, make sure that they understand. Go to the specific race. They're going to have a spectator area there in the digital event guide too. So just make sure that you go to the specific race at the digital event guide, the spectator viewing, so that way you know where they can see, where they can go and watch you run. Remember that the earlier you get to your corral, also once the corral's open, the more forward you can get. That's going to be a great thing, because what's going to happen is that because there's going to be waves. Remember, there's at Disney World, there's waves within the corrals. So if you're in one of the first waves, then you get to go in early. So C, I think, usually has C, or D has the most waves. And so just remember that. So if you get there early enough, sometimes they've even been breaking corrals into 3 and stuff, and then they let you go. But again, the waves are going to be they're going to be going. So if you get there and you're C and you're in the back, you might you might not start for a good 20 minutes. And so just remember that. So if you want to get into if you're in an earlier corral and you want to start earlier, just make sure you get there earlier. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is really quick. It's just etiquette. Very easy. Walkers to the right. If you're jogging in between, then stay in the middle. That way you can kind of move back and forth if you need to. If you're going to be running on a more consistent basis, then go all the way to the left. Remember, there's places that are really, really, really narrow, and they always say, caution runner, course narrows ahead, or caution athlete, course narrows ahead. Just remember that, because during those times, walk right in front of each other if you're going to be with a partner, or try to stay that way, so that way people who are running, because it does get a little bit crowded, congested. At times I think that people do better when it comes to etiquette, and there's times when we get an F. So just make sure that you do it right. And one of the other things I was going to say is the pictures. That's become a big area where people go in to take a picture with a character. And again, I understand the excitement. I understand the fact that a lot of people cannot go to all the runs, so they go in there and they want to take 20 poses. And I like what they do at Disneyland. You're taking 3 pictures out, 3 pictures out, and that's what you do. And that's what you should do. So remember, if you got to do 3 poses, 1, 2, 3, real quick, out. It should take you 5, 6 seconds. You're out, and that way people can enjoy that and not get swept. Okay, so just remember that when you're going in there. And the other thing is too, when they have the pictures on the course while you're running, and you stand in there and you hog up everything and you jump and you do this and you do this, Wazowski me, I'm okay with it. But remember, there's other people behind you. My rule, and if you watch my videos, go in and out. And I always do that. I always say, and I'll get out. And I always turn to make sure that I'm not blocking anybody, because I do want everybody to get at least a few pictures, so that way they can enjoy their experience, have a magical time. And so just remember that. Just always think to yourself, this is my race, but it's also other people's races. And a lot of these people might just do it once and never do it again. And you want to make sure that they have a great experience. A lot of these people have stories. Remember, Riley always interviews these people with some great stories. Listen to these stories. Some people run them all the time. Some people may just be there once. And so let's make sure that we share this experience with everybody that we can. Again, I'll be running in the back. I plan on staying with the balloon ladies for the whole 10K. So that's going to be kind of weird at the end. And so you'll see the video when you see that. But we get very crowded up and everything. So that's that. And I'm gonna start off with a half marathon. I may stay with them for a while. It depends. Usually at least 3 miles, sometimes 4 or 5. It depends on how I feel, and I might take off. But the last thing I'm going to say, this is something that's exciting news, and I'm glad you made it to the very end. So my calculations during the 10K, if everything goes as planned. So the 5K I'm going to run, the 10K at mile marker 2.3, roughly 2.3, so I would say about 2.5 in, I will be crossing my 1,000th live mile run at either Disney World or Disneyland. So it's a live Disney run, and I will be crossing that. I am excited about that. I will probably make note of it in the video. It's not anything that I sit there expecting anything from anybody. But it's a cool milestone, and I want to share it with people. And it's more to say, if I can do it, you can do it. With that said, if there's anything I missed, please comment down below. Magical luck to you guys, not only during the runs, but also traveling and getting there. Magical luck. I hope that everybody gets there in time, gets there and has a great experience. I hope to see you guys. One of the biggest things that I love about these runs, and if you see my post on social media, is you guys, getting to know you guys. I've met so many lifelong friends now, and it's fantastic. It's great. It always, every time I come back, I always say, now that was my best weekend. Now that was my best. And every single time. And I'm pretty sure it's going to continue going on like that. So, and it's because of you guys. Anything that I can do to enhance your experience, please let me know. And again, if you see me on the course, you see me at the airport, at the parks, whatever it is, please come up and say hi. But without further ado, I want to thank you very, very much, and create a magical day, create a magical run. And guys, see you sooner than later.